Hey everyone, so it's Friday and my last afternoon appointment got canceled. So I was sitting here thinking, what can I share with you that I think that would do some good and help you all and become knowledgeable in your own real estate transactions or home ownership or whatever that may be. So at the gym today, there were some ladies talking, and of course I overhear and always spied. So don't think when you're around me that I'm not listening to your conversation, because I do. I think most realtors do. Listen to people's conversation around them, because that's just how you get leads or follow-ups with the conversation later. Just say, hey, I heard you guys talking the other day and stuff like that. Anyways, so I was at the gym this morning and some ladies were talking about refinancing, and this one lady refinanced her house and her appraisal came in low, and so they weren't able to get the refinancing done. So I just kind of stepped in after about 10 or 15 minutes later, and I said, hey, did you have a realtor help you and run some comps for you and possibly get that value back up to where you needed it to be? She was like, no, I didn't even think about that. So that's important. Whenever you have a realtor friend or someone that you know is in real estate, you just reach out. We do sometimes do things for free all the time. We don't always get paid for everything that we do. We're a resource of knowledge, and we are here to help you, the people, to get the most out of whatever it is that you're trying to do. So you're refinancing and your appraisal comes in short. You can always reach out to me. I can help you and I can run comps for you. And if I feel that your appraiser didn't use the correct comps, I can send those to you and you can submit those and try to fight that appraisal. I've done this in my entire career. I even had to do it on my own property before, because my appraisal came in a little bit low. And I was able to get it up $10,000, $15,000. So that can help you too. So if you're refinancing and you need to get some cash out and you have an issue, just holler at me and we can run some comps and I can send those to you to help get your appraisal up. I can't send them directly to the appraiser or anything like that, but I can send them to you and say, hey, see if he'll use these comps versus those comps that he used. So for you jumping on, I see we have some new people here. We're talking about refinancing and cashing out some equity. So right now, sellers are sitting on the biggest nest of equity that they have ever had, and especially if you bought 2 years ago. I see 2 of my clients are on here and they have sold or bought recently, but scared then to buy. But even now, a year and a half later that they've bought, the equity in that home that they purchased that they were nervous about purchasing has increased so much. And so I'm going to use my own personal experience as an example. So we bought our house, we bought our land first, and then we built our house. And then we refinanced in 2020, and we wanted to build a pool. And we knew we had equity from the moment that we bought this house, because it appraised for more than what we built it for and our land for. It all increased in value within the short time frame that we built and bought it, which was in 2015, 2016. So the market's been good for a while. It's just really have escalated quickly in the last 2 years. And this past year, I think every month the values are going up like 10% around the entire nation. It's not just here. So you bought a home, it has some equity, you're not sure, give me a call. I can tell you what I think it would sell for in today's market. You can go to a lender and they can say, hey, let's refinance it. And they say, what do you think it would sell for? And you say, well, my friend Stephanie helped me and she said it would probably sell for this. And so we put it on, we don't have to put it on the market, but you refinance it. They send an appraiser out, and the appraiser actually appraises it. They're the ones who determine the value, whether you're buying or you're refinancing. And so then he appraises it. So as long as that value is less than the percentage that you need to refinance at a certain percentage, you can cash out that equity. So I'll just share all the numbers with you. So we want to build a pool, and we owe $230,000 on our house whenever we started to refinance to build the pool. So I said, okay, I think my house will appraise for $400,000. Well, it did. So we only took out $75,000 to build the pool. And so we owed 230, so now we have 75,000. So now we're at right around 305,000, and it appraised for 400,000. So you can't take it all out, but you can take that number less 20% out, less your mortgage. So depending on what that is. So if you need $10,000, well, you only have to take out $10,000. You don't have to take out the full equity amount out of your home. Okay, so now I want to build a shop. And so now I'm like, okay, a year and a half later, what do I think that it would appraise for today? And so we refinanced it again. I need a certain amount of money to build this shop. And so we took this opportunity to see what it had increased in the last year and a half. And it increased like $110,000 in value, which is nuts. So nuts, like that would never happen. And so we were able to cash out more equity out of our home in order to build our shop. And you don't have to always use it for home improvement. So let's say you want to buy a rental property, but you're like, I don't really have any cash. Well, you can cash out some equity out of your home and buy an investment property, or you can pay your bills off. Whatever you want to do with that money, that's up to you. You don't have to remodel. You don't have to build a pool. You don't have to do any of those things. That equity is your equity. And if you don't want to sell your home, that's a way for you to cash out that equity and do whatever you want with it. For example, we have 2 rental properties, right? And so if I were to sell those rental properties, I'd have to pay capital gains tax, right? Well, instead of doing that, I have so much equity in those rental houses, I can refinance them and cash out some equity in those and use that money for whatever I want. And I'm not taxed on it at all. I don't have to pay the IRS money. I don't have to pay capital gains. I don't have to pay anything. So it's really making your investments, and real estate is an investment, work for you. You're purchasing a home. You're purchasing an investment property to gain equity to have money later, whether that be when you retire or to send a kid to college. So I do plan to sell some of my rental properties when my kids get a little bit older and use that money and pay for their college or invest into my retirement, whichever that may be. But I just wanted to kind of give you a brief kind of synopsis of how to make that work. If you want to know what your home is worth, shoot me a message. We don't have to sell it, but you can have an actual number of what it would sell for in today's market. So you could potentially refinance it and get some cash out. Maybe you have some hospital bills that are just nagging at you, or you've been sick and you need some cash, to catch up on everything. Just make your money work for you. Your mortgage payment might go up depending on your interest rate. What it was last year or the year before, it's not ever going to be that low, but it's still around 4%, which is still record lows. We're just right back to pre-pandemic rates, which were awesome rates. So if you have like a 5 or 6% interest rate or pretty close to that, especially if you did down payment assistance program, it's probably higher, and you could probably refinance because you already have so much equity in that home and turn it into a conventional loan, and you probably get a lesser interest rate. So think about that. The other thing I learned, or someone asked the other day, was they had a VA loan. Well, they didn't even know that they could refinance their VA loan, and you can. So you have equity, you're sitting on it, whether or not you bought a year ago, 2 years ago, 10 years ago, you're sitting on equity. And if you need some money, this is the way to do it. It's simple. It's easy. I've done it many a times. It doesn't cost you anything to refinance other than you have to pay for your appraisal, which is about $600 to $800. I had to have a new survey for my house this time because I built the pool, and that was $1,000 that I had to pay out of my pocket to get a new survey done to refinance it. But I mean, that little cost, I didn't have to bring anything to the closing table. They roll it into your loan. So we just went from a lesser mortgage to a higher mortgage, but we get to stay in our home and we got to improve it with that money, but you don't have to improve it with that money. And you can do whatever you want with that money. I mean, heck, if you wanted to take a trip to Paris, you can use that money. I mean, it's whatever you want to do it for. I personally like to reinvest it into something that will gain more money, but that's up to you to do what you want with. So you're sitting on equity. You can cash out and refinance. Your home just has to be appraised or valued at a certain value dollar lesser than 20% of that number and what you owe on it, and then you can take that cash out. If you want me to walk you through it personally, just shoot me a message and we can talk about it personally. You don't have to put it out here on Facebook or anything, and your business is your business. I won't share it with anyone. But if you ever want to know what your home is worth, you can also just DM me and we can talk about it. Thanks, guys. I hope you have a fantastic Friday. It's going to be a great weekend. The weather's awesome. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.